Well, here we are again. We're back with BL Trails and Tales, and today we're going to talk a little bit what's in the news. And if you're on the news at all, it's all about the riots that are going on for the ICE raids and the immigration and the protests and whatnot all across the country. And I don't know what your political affiliation is, but I'm a Republican. I'm pretty conservative. I voted for Trump, and I back him, and I back law and order, and I back what ICE is doing, and I just don't understand how anyone could kind of disagree with that. If let me preference this. I grew up doing manual labor with Mexicans back when they were wetbacks. Okay, they came across they wetbacks because they swam across the Rio Grande River down there on the border, and they came up illegally. And I was working side by side with them, some of the greatest people you'll ever know. And I still have relations. Well, I have relationships down in Mexico and Mexicali down in there, and Michoacan also, and Chihuahua and through there. I know a lot of people, a lot of Mexicans down there, a lot of real Mexicans, and they were pretty much the elite there is more. I guess Spaniard than they are Indian Mexican, but the laborers that come up at that time were ranch owners and whatnot, and they came up and they would work for 2 or 3 months, and they'd make enough money then to send back to their family and to their ranch, because they probably, and most of them had farms and ranches back there, but in 2 or 3 months up here in America they could earn enough money to pay their entire crew for the entire year. Well, they were illegal, and so they started busting down on illegal immigration, okay? And so they developed the Pasero program, where they could come up legally and they could work in farm land, crops and whatnot, and then they would return home. And it was a great program. Well, that, the great politicians decide that they've got to do something different, so they ended that, and they came up with the H-2A program now. And it's workable. My brother still has a peach orchard and whatnot, and they they recruit them down in Mexico, and they're usually about the same guys that come up all the time. And they help in the harvest, in fruit harvest. They help prune, they help thin, they help harvest, and do that type of work. And no, you can't get Americans to do that. We tried that before, and it doesn't work at all. And so these people are very valuable, but they need to be here legally. And the ones that came through with the Biden administration that just crossed the border illegally, they didn't have jobs, and they were busted clear across the country. They were putting up in hotels. They were given cell phones. They were given health care. They were given allowances. It's totally disgusting, and it's total disregard for those who came here legally, that came and worked and went through the process and became American citizens. It's a slap in the face to them. So when ICE lines up and arrests those criminals, and what they're trying to go after in Los Angeles and these other big cities is the criminal aspect. Now, they may catch somebody else that's maybe not a criminal, doesn't have a record in that raid. And I'm sorry, but they're still here illegally, and they're guilty by association. If you're caught, if they're raiding a gang member's facility and you're in there, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be there. You should go to jail right along with the rest of them. But the thing is, anyone that come across the border illegally is illegal. You committed a crime. You are not allowed in the United States like that. I can't go to Mexico and do that. They'd throw me in jail. If I did that in other countries, they'd throw me in jail. Why? Because I am not legal there. That's why. Same thing applies for here. So when ICE raids those facilities and trying to get gang members and criminal elements, they may get some people caught up in there, and that's kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, uh, no one forced them to come across the border. No one told them that they could come across and be illegal and be fine here. The administration has made it clear that if you're here illegal, they will give you $1,000 and a plane ride to go home and send you and your family back there and help facilitate you coming back legally. Okay? And they said that over and over. It's on the news everywhere. And if you don't turn yourself in, if you don't try to be an American citizen, if you don't do what's right and own up to your crime, well, if you get caught, you're going to get deported and you never get back. Okay? That's the end of story. You're not coming back. So if you really want to be here, the thing for you to do would be to what? Yes, you need to turn yourself in. You need to get the paperwork. You need to get sent back to your country. And then you need help getting with the paperwork to come back in legally. Those people in LA that are rioting, burn them guys down. I would. I got zero respect for any protester that is going to cause violence. Any protester that gets out on the street and stops my car from going through. I am a tax-paying American citizen. I've got a right to the road. You're illegal, or if you're committing a protest and you're stopping me on a sidewalk or you're stopping me from traveling on a road, that's illegal. You need arrested. There is no exception. There is no but. There is no, well, these poor citizens are getting harassed. No. You can't break the law, okay? As far as I'm concerned, what I'd love to see those police officers and stuff down there. Trump called out the National Guard and even some Marines down there, but that's trying to protect federal property from looting, violence, and whatnot being burned. I mean, burning down cars, burning businesses like they did in Portland years ago. It's just insane, and it needs to be stopped immediately. Just immediately. There is no empathy for those people that do that kind of damage. There should not be. If it were me, I think I'd implement a little bit of branding into my philosophy as far as enforcement. I would have a bunch of horses out there, and those horses are going to be mounted by, obviously, the policemen that are authorized to arrest people, and they're authorized to taser people. I would give them all hot shots. I mean, long hot shot cattle probes, and let them ride into that crowd. If they don't disperse, I'd hit them with the hot shot. I guarantee you that's going to get their attention, and they're not going to like it, and they're going to fall back. That's what needs to happen. You need to stop the riot. You need to stop them pushing into officers and endangering their lives. Put a horse in there, put a cowboy on him with a hot shot. I guarantee you'll move that crowd back. Now, if there are some macho boys in there that won't, you got a saddlebag full of taser guns. You pull that out. If he's being in your face, grabbing your horse, refusing to move, taser his butt, drop him on the ground, have a ground force come up and pick him up, put him in handcuffs and take him to jail. That's all. Do that 2 or 3 times. Have that on video, have that on the news, and I guarantee you that will spread, and I guarantee you that will stop all of the majority of those riots. It will no longer be fun. Sure, they got somebody, with deep pockets funding them right now. They're bringing them in riot gear of their own, helmets and gas masks and stuff to supply to the rioters. Well, I don't know who's doing that, but they need to find out, and they need to put that man or woman or organization, put them in jail. They are aiding and abetting terrorist activity. That's all there is to it. Stop it. Stop it right now. Put your foot down. Carry a big stick. You can speak softly, but you carry a big stick, and if they're not going to abide by you speaking softly, you use the big stick. You stop it. You protect American citizens. You protect their rights. If they're here illegally, they have no rights. No, they don't have any rights in the United States of America if they're here illegally. Throw that out. That's not even an argument. I don't care what you hear on CNN, NBC, all that good stuff, CBS. No, they don't have any rights. They do not have any due process. If they're here illegal, they need their butt deported. Now, they can self-deport like we talked about, or they need to leave in handcuffs. I don't care which way. I don't. There's lots and lots, hundreds of thousands of Mexicans and other people across the world that want to come into this nation legally. Let's do that. Let's keep it legal. Let's have America first. Now, if you believe in that, then you and I are friends. And if you don't, well, you're an idiot. But we can still be friends. I got lots of friends that are idiots. I do. Too many, I guess. But yeah, I mean, idiots are everywhere. You see them over there protesting right now. Don't be an idiot. Be on the right side. Be with me. We'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.